42-19 was the final score for the Philadelphia Eagles going against San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers had 6 offensive touchdowns in a row in this game. This team, they're going to desperately need brand new coordinators after this season if they cannot go to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl. The Philadelphia Eagles were able to go out last season, make the Super Bowl with Nick Sirianni as the head coach. You had Jonathan Gannon as defensive coordinator. I know he got a lot of flack because he's not able to stop Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, but he was able to get some things going for a majority of last season. He coached up one of the best defenses of last season. And you also had Shane Steichen, who was the most important coordinator with this team. Brian Johnson is not a good offensive coordinator with this team. It's the same quarterback draws over and over and over again. Jalen Hurts had 7 carries for 20 yards in this game. And it's the same generic run plays over and over again. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles have been stuck in this situation for quite some time. They've been able to go out there and win these games primarily because of Jalen Hurts. They beat the Buffalo Bills last week in overtime. Jalen Hurts had the rushing touchdown, and he was running for majority of the game. And a lot of the big plays this season have come from Jalen Hurts pointing receivers out and extending the play. And because their offensive line is so dominant, the Philadelphia Eagles have great players. The coaching just isn't there. And Nick Sirianni is a good head coach. The coordinators with this team are just no good, in my opinion. You may disagree with that, but I've seen it over and over again. The offense starts off slow every single game this season. Against the Kansas City Chiefs a few weeks ago, it started off slow. In the second half, it got better because of Jalen Hurts. The defense was able to go out there and stop some things, but it came down to Marquez Valdez-Scantling dropping that ball in the red zone. Last week against the Buffalo Bills, they started off slow. Back half of the game, Jalen Hurts ended up being Superman. They win that game. Every single game this season, they have started out slow, and then in the second half, they pick things up. But what happens when you face a team that is equally or more talented than you, that has better coaches than you? You lose that game, just like how they did against San Francisco 49ers. There is no reason to why a defense that has Kevin Byard, Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Fletcher Cox, Jalen Carter, Hassan Reddick, all those guys, and you have 6 touchdowns back to back to back, like it was no tomorrow. And Deebo Samuel's running around making plays all over. And I will say this, the referees did miss a horrible call on that screen pass. Blankenship definitely got held in that moment, and the referees did not call it. They should have called that as a penalty, and they should have walked that touchdown back. But that wouldn't have changed anything because the Philadelphia Eagles could not tackle today, and they could not go out there and put enough pressure on Brock Purdy. Early on, they were able to, but they were not able to make plays in space either. The secondary needs to be better, and it starts with coaching. Players do have to step up, but the way that things are being schemed up right now does not work with this team, and it's not going to be able to work long-term with this team in the playoffs if they want to make a deep playoff run. And that's the one thing that really concerns me about the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, to this point of this season, has less touchdowns and more interceptions than he did last season. He was taking better care of the football this season, not as much. And he is not the quarterback that you want to go out there and to throw the ball 40 to 45 times a game. That is not what Jalen Hurts' strong suit is. It is running around, but you can't run him around too much. They worked more off of play action last season with Shane Steichen. And if you don't believe that Shane is an elite play caller, look at what he's doing right now with Gardner Minshew in the Indianapolis Colts. They desperately miss him. I wish that Nick Sirianni would step in and he would try to go in and help out on the playbook side of things with the offense. They're going to need that. And I know that this is just one game that they have lost, but listen to what I said earlier in the video, how they have won games in the past. All the games have been close, and they're winning it because they're players. Coaches have to step up with this team, and Brian Johnson, the offensive coordinator, needs to do a better job. And the defensive coordinator has to do a better job as well. There's no reason to why your secondary is supposed to be in this situation. Not much has changed from last season to this season with the roster, just the coordinators. You still have Darius Slay. Now, he's not the same corner he was last season, but he's still a very solid corner in the NFL. James Bradbury is still with this roster. You still have elite players with this roster. It just comes down to coaching. But today was a very disappointing loss for the Philadelphia Eagles. They're 10-2. They are still the number 1 seed in the NFC. They have to be careful and they have to tread lightly because the San Francisco 49ers are now 9-3 and the Dallas Cowboys are 9-3 as well. And they have a tough test ahead of them next week when they have to travel to Arlington, Texas to face the Dallas Cowboys. But let me know in the comment section below how you feel about the Philadelphia Eagles, and Am I overreacting on the coordinators with this team? If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.